I'm saying about this. Now I know Kanye was going through issues with this before he went on this rant, about like a year back or maybe two. He was talking about like a little bit after he dropped that gospel album. He was like, I ain't doing no more music. Behind Universal, behind that point of this. Now I get what he's saying, and I feel him too. Like there is some it's some trickery in them contracts that them music companies do put them artists through, and they basically try to basically hold them by their nuts with their masters. Y'all remember when old boy from the Beatles got highly pissed off at Michael Jackson for buying his shit? Yeah, because the company finally like, you know what? Let's go ahead and put him on the auction. And was it Paul McCartney? What was his name?
Yeah, I think
yeah, Paul McCartney.
Yeah, he was trying to buy him. He was like, yeah, I'm thinking about buying him. And MJ ended up buying him. So every time that music played, MJ get paid instead of him, even though he wrote the damn thing. So the way masters goes like that, and the flip floppery and fuckery, the way they do that with people, artists, and their music is fucked up. I ain't gonna lie to you. To me, I believe it's jacked up, and you gotta be have a real good artist. I mean, a real good legal representation when you start signing these damn contracts for that. If anybody, to all the people out there in the music world, the music industry that's going out there doing y'all thing, just cause hey, Universal trying to sign me, whatnot, woo. Yeah, y'all better start reading them damn fucking fried prints. Because all of a sudden, a lot of your shit that you had on Apple or Google Play gonna start coming off once they get the master to it. Because guess what? They own your ass now, and they own your work.
And yeah, and see that's really what it boils down to, and that's what the whole thing with Master P and Cash Money, Birdman and Baby Nim. You know what I mean? A lot of people knock him for what he do and his antics and things like that. But at the end of the day, they own their music. And that's what it's all about. It's about ownership. And that's what anything, but specifically when it comes to music, it's important that the artists own their music and they own their masters and stuff. Because if not, I mean, there's songs right now that's getting played back from the doggone 90s. And some of them artists that was hot, they ain't getting paid for that. You know what I mean? And just like you were saying, Aaron, about, young cats signing these deals and stuff like that. Yeah, that advance look good.
Oh, it's sick.
That advance look good. They give you some money, go buy some little jewelry, a little chain, you know what I mean? Go,
they give you that fuck around money.
Yeah, give you that fuck around money to go lease a Lambo or something like that, you know what I mean? Like, they give you that money. But best believe, when it's all said and done, and you ain't hot no more, and or even if you ain't hot no more, the music just ain't pumping like it was, and it ain't getting them spins and stuff like that, and that money ain't flowing the way it is, you're gonna wish you had them masters so that you can get them royalties and that extra paper that come with having them masters and stuff like that. And that's one of the things that I kind of like. I believe 2 Chainz. If I'm mistaken, I think 2 Chainz owns all his masters too. You know what I mean? It's a lot of, it's a select few of cats in the game that understood that early coming on into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they realized the value of their music. And that's what it comes down to, knowing the value of your music and knowing that, you can't be bought in that aspect where your music is, you don't own it. I mean, if you can take the time to make it, write the lyrics to it and all that, why would you not want to keep it for yourself? Why would you not want to own it? So, I applaud Kanye for trying to, help people out and doing all that kind of stuff and trying to get the masters and all that kind of stuff. I was surprised to know that he didn't have his own, that he didn't own his masters. I was surprised at that. Like, that was like news to me. Kanye of all people, you know what I mean? You don't own your own stuff.
You know what I really heard funny about that part? I'm sorry, just on side note. Because Jay-Z, he finally got his masters completed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Word on the street is that he may have sold off Kanye shit to pay for his own masters, and that's why Universal got him now. Cause no,
hey,
that's neither here or say.
I wouldn't.
My big brother. I don't know how true that is, but that's the word I heard on the street.
Hey, but hey, that's cold. That's cold right there. If that is true, that's cold. That's cold. That's cold-blooded right there.
I hope it ain't.
That's cold-blooded, but
damn, Jigga.
It's about ownership, man. It's about ownership, you know. So, hey, I don't know if I would, been pissed on my Grammy, but I get the statement he was trying to make, but you know what I mean.
He could cut that Moses shit. I don't know. He ain't had to go Moses with it, but I'm with you though. I feel what he's saying.
I see he had on them Yeezus Crocs too.
He did.
You seen them Yeezus Crocs?
Oh, had them all. I wish I had this money 13s.
What you got to say about that, Chris?
Yeah, what you got to say other than adding on a few minutes to our meeting time?
Hey, I see the clock. You watching the clock up there, ain't you?
You damn straight.
Man, you know what?
Extend that.
It's so much, man, that we can talk about here, man, and it's so many places we can go with it. But I want to take it back to what Ant said. Michael Jackson bought the Beatles masters and held on to that shit and made money off that shit and pissed Paul McCartney ass off, right? Do you know who else Michael Jackson, who else masters Michael Jackson bought?
Somebody else big too. I cannot remember. But
he just passed away this year. He bought Little Richard's masters.
For real?
Yes. He bought Little Richard's masters, and instead of using it and making money off of it, he gave it back to Little Richard for free. All this shit we talk about Michael Jackson, the kids, the fucking skin color, him going crazy and all this shit. When I learned that shit, that made me realize two things about Michael Jackson. One, he was smarter than what we all in the general public thought he was. And two, as much as credit for, as much as we thought he got away from the black community with all the crazy shit he had going on, he still had love for black community and the art. Now, a little back to the piece that Roy was talking about Master P and ownership. P went to Jay Prince when he started No Limit because he saw how Jay Prince was moving and how he was rolling, right? And he didn't want to sign no record deal because he wanted to maximize the money. He saw. Yeah, so we went out, man. That's my fault. But like I was saying, I was on my Jay Prince shit. And
yeah, you were.
The boogeyman.
The boogeyman. The
H-Town real.
No, but what I'm saying was P saw Jay Prince living good, man, getting all this money and making music or making money off of the Ghetto Boys and everything. And of course, he knew who Jay Prince was at that time. He knew who the Ghetto Boys was at that time. And he asked him, how are you able to live like this, you know what I'm saying, and boss up, you know what I'm saying, in the music business. And that's when Jay Prince laced him up with the game about majority ownership. And he said, while everybody else is out here looking for record deals and everything, I don't care about the record deals. I just want somebody to put my music out. I'm looking for the distribution deal. I'll do the marketing myself. I'll do the production myself. I'll do the road shit myself, like touring and setting up dates and booking myself. Only thing I need the record company to do for me is to distribute my music all across the country because they have the network for it. And that's what began the 80-20 deal. Now, what this makes me think about in terms of Kanye and the masters and the ownership is the space that we occupying right now. We trying to get up in the podcast space, and there's a million motherfuckers out there trying to get up in it.
Mm-hmm.
The record business hasn't figured out quite how to get their hands on the podcasting space, but they are starting to figure it out. I don't know if you guys are familiar, but Charlemagne the Guy from 105.1 1 or 6, whatever it is, the Breakfast Club. He just set up a 50-50 partnership deal with iHeartRadio, who's already fucking does the fucking distribution, the terrestrial radio distribution, syndication of Breakfast Club. He set up a 50-50 partnership to do a podcasting network. However, he owns a podcast. He has other podcasters and their content on that network, but his own podcast is not on there. Why? Because of ownership. He would have to license that content out to iHeart for a set amount of time, and they can do whatever they want with it. They pay him a set amount. Let's say they pay him $100 million for that content for a 6-year period of licensing, but they turn around and make $2 billion off of the content. Charlamagne just got paid $100 million, but they making $2 billion off of it. That's why his Brilliant Idiots podcast is not on the network. I'm presuming why his Brilliant Idiots podcast is not on the network. Now, going back to what Ant was saying in terms of Masters ownership and shit, and Kanye not owning it, I was very shocked and surprised. You know, this goes back to the whole Jay-Z Dame Dash debate. Who was right, who was wrong? Because Dame was on the whole fucking thing of we can do this shit ourselves. We don't need these motherfuckers. While Jay was like, you know what? Nah, I'm going to go and do this deal with Leo on my own, and I'm going to cash out, and we're going to do our thing, which Jay has been very successful in doing. But going back to what Ant was saying, Kanye didn't own his masters from the Rockefeller days. And if the rumors are true, and we just speculating here, we spitballing, we shooting from the hip.
Yeah.
If the rumors are true that
Sound black Twitter talk.
that Jay had sold off Kanye's masters in order to buy his own masters, what does that say about, you know, that whole debate between Jay and Dame? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And how crazy does Dame really look now, even though he's been preaching and he still preaches ownership of content, ownership of creation. And you're very right, man. These motherfuckers go in the booth. Not just in the booth, man. They put up their own money, man, and they go into these spaces. They give up blood, sweat, and tears just to show the value of what their content is worth.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And if they getting an offer for $10 million for somebody who sees a value in it, they don't see $10 million worth of value. And I get it. You know, motherfuckers got to make money too. But they're not looking at it like, okay, I'll buy your content for $20 million. You know what I'm saying? I'll make 5, you'll make 5. You'll get that 10 back with 5 on top of it, and then I'll just get my 5 million cut. No, they looking at the valuation of your product. If they're gonna buy it for 10, they looking at it that it could be valued at fucking 100.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So they like chump change. And now it goes back to the podcast space, because I don't know if you guys are familiar with fucking Joe Budden's beef with Charlamagne, and, you know, Joe Budden, you know, going to Spotify, because, you know, he took his podcast to Spotify, and he was like, yo, how y'all running the metrics? How are y'all determining what the value of the content that we create is to say this is the kind of contract we're going to offer you? If Joe Rogan can sign $200 million deal with Spotify, they got the money. What are they valuing Joe Rogan's podcast at? And if they can give Joe Rogan $200 million for what they feel like the value of his podcast is, then, you know what I'm saying, how much more, you know what I'm saying? And this is just Joe Budden asking the question. It's not the negotiation or what he feel like his product is valued at. It's like, how do you determine what the real value of my product is?
Right.
So
it's hard to do with a podcast.
It's hard to do a podcast because people are still figuring it out. But going back to the music space with Kanye, and I don't want to get too far away from it. I know I jumped all around the world on it. Going back
just a little bit. Makes sense though. Yeah,
going back to the music space with Kanye, I think they understand that game now. Like we've gotten so far in generations of black music. They rob black people rock and roll, right? From the blues.
Yeah.
And if you notice now, they're kind of starting to rob us of hip hop and rap. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But they have always been robbing us of our masters. And just when we figure out the game about the masters, when Master P come in and do his 80-20 deal with distribution, say I'm taking 80%, y'all can keep 20, because all y'all doing the distribution, I'm gonna keep the lump sum of the money and my masters. When Baby comes along behind him and does the similar deal with Universal for 30 mil, technology shifts over, and now we get into the streaming game. Streaming kills the music industry, but the music industry has the money and resources to do whatever the fuck they want to do. So just as black folks are waking up to the game changes, and now we stuck in the same situation. But it goes back to the Rockefeller shit. Dame knew this shit. Rockefeller didn't have a record label, a typical record label contract with Def Jam. They were partnered with Def Jam. They were 50-50 partners. If you listen to Dame do interviews, he will talk about that shit all the time. We were 50-50 partners with Def Jam.
Right.
Everything we put out, they got 50%, we got 50%. And it wasn't good as P's 80-20, but it was better than what most motherfuckers was getting at the time.
Especially coming out of New York.
Right, coming out of New York. So Kanye signs to Rockefeller. Okay? College Dropout is on Rockefeller before the whole break. That was pretty much right before the fucking Rockefeller breakup, right? 2003, 2004?
It broke up a little bit later but yeah, it
was around the same time. It was around the same time period, give or take a couple of years.
Yeah. You telling me Kanye wasn't soaking up game? Like, you had two warring factions. You had Jay-Z that was saying, I'm distancing myself from Dame. I really don't want to do it the way Dame doing. I think he's fucking up relationships and this and that. And then you got Dame over here saying, nah, man, we got this shit. We the content creators. We the one putting all the hard work in. We working hard. These motherfuckers trying to fuck us over. No matter whether you like whether you like Dame's approach or not, Dame was really on some true independent shit. But
he's always been like that, though.
Always been like that.
Even if you look at him in the movies, bro, like, he always was on some other shit.
Right. But you got two motherfuckers, like, they got different positions on it. But who do you got in the middle? Who do you got in the middle? You got fucking Kanye and the rest of the artists on Rockefeller.
Yeah, Beans and Free and all them.
Who own their fucking content? Who own their masters? If Kanye's gonna get mad at fucking old boy at the fucking record label, then yeah, he should be mad at fucking Dame and Jay too.
Nah, think about this. Dame wanted Kanye to sign under him when they split off. Now you thinking, now looking at the way shit's going now, do you think Kanye would be yay enough to be crazy ass yay he is now if he went with Dame?
I think so.
Or he would have to go to Jay-Z to get the point where he at right now?
I think so, because it's all about the creator, bro. It's all about the creator. Think about this right now. Our podcast. We know there's some value in this shit. We 5 episodes deep. We still young, but you know what I'm saying?
Ain't no value, motherfucker. We got value, cuz we got
No. That's what I'm saying. No, that's what I'm saying.
135 motherfucking likes, man. Matter of fact, go ahead, keep on subscribing, motherfuckers.
That's what I'm saying, though. There's some value in it, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But those where we at now, imagine tomorrow we wake up and we get fucking 50,000. Motherfucker come knocking at our door tomorrow and say, you know what? I see value in this. I want to buy in. It's 3 of us. We got to figure out what we want to do together collectively.
Mm-hmm.
These motherfuckers are going to come at us with more money than we've ever seen in our life. But then on the back end, they're going to say, we want to own the rights to all of your content.
They're just like buying a house and telling them, hell no, I don't want the minerals. Fuck that.
But what are we doing? What do we do? Do we sign with them motherfuckers? We woke up with 50,000 fucking subscribers. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're on our own.
The companies come with the bag, but they want to own all of our content. Not a license agreement. They want to own our shit. That means they can take a little clip of some shit that Roy said and get paid 10 times as much. And it ain't even they can take this little fucking box that Roy in right now, some shit that he said, some shit that he said, run a fucking 30-second clip for whatever fuck they want to use it as, get paid fucking $30 million off that bitch, and run on get none of it. Fuck us.
Make a gif off that bitch and everything.
Make a gif off of it and everything. We don't do nothing. But they hit us with the bag. They hit us with a $5 million bag that we can bust down between all three of us a piece.
No. If we're gonna go there, if we're gonna sell a soul like that, it's gonna be 5 a piece. 15 million had to come up.
Yeah,
actually, 10 minimums.
What I'm saying.
Matter of fact, make it 13 because they ain't said Black Lives Matter. Fuck them.
But nothing changes, bro. Nothing changes but the money.
Hey, but that's
but the bag.
But you know what though? That's the thing that get people is the money. Yeah. Are you gonna sell yourself out for the money, or are you gonna stay true and continue? If you don't get it, continue to grind and do it the hard way. And I think that a lot of young cats is starting to realize that now, with all this independent movement that's going on. Chris, me and you the other day, we was talking about Dolph, right?
Yeah.
About how young Dolph did it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Independent, ain't signed with no major deal with nobody, doing everything. He keeping his own bread. He doing all this stuff. I mean, you can listen to it on the, when he went on Drink Champs or whatever, and was talking about it with Noriega and them. About how he got his distribution deal and all that kind of stuff. He said that's all he needed. He didn't need that. He was putting up his own money to get on people's shows that was coming to Memphis. You know what I mean? Grinding it out on his own. And it's a lot of people nowadays is doing that independent route type deal. You know what I mean? And a lot of them cats got more bread than what we think they got.
Yeah.
Because of how they doing it.
And see, that's the beauty of today.
A whole lot of money when you ain't paying everybody else.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's the beauty.
You gotta split it up a whole bunch of ways.
Yeah,
you just gotta manage it correctly.
That's the beauty of the information age, man. Like, Ant, I'm not even gonna lie to you, right? Me and Ant, I think we had talked about this shit before. We had talked about doing this podcast a while back, at least about a year ago.
Something like that.
Yeah, but my whole thing was shit. I couldn't see with us being separated how we could come together and do it. You know what I'm saying? And then a year later, it's like, shit, we can do this Zoom shit, you know what I'm saying? And then, I had been doing the fitness shit for a while on social media, so I was like, well, shit, if we can work out getting us in the same place at the same time, then shit, I can do the rest.
And look at us.
There we is.
Independence, bro, and that's what these young motherfuckers have figured out, bro. We old motherfuckers still doing it in their era, but they have figured it out ahead of us.
Yeah. Cause we got that little old, we still used to the old timing thing sometimes. Sometimes let's take a good old fashioned then a hot new thing. So we a little slow with it, but we'll catch up though.
We catching on. We catching up.
Yeah.
So end of the day, OG, what do y'all think? Do you think Kanye can be successful with this shit? He signed on a dotted line, and he brought some. And you see Big Sean co-signing. Big Sean is signed under Good Music, which is Kanye. So he brought other motherfuckers to sign the same damn contract. It's pretty much what I'm seeing from it.
Depends on how it's run through. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I think it's gonna be kind of hard for him, bro. Like I think that it's gonna take almost like some shit as big as Uncle Luke going to the damn Supreme Court to get that joker out that contract and get their money, bro. Like, it's going to be hard, man. It's going to be hard because at the end of the day, he signed the contract. He signed on that dotted line. Hopefully he had, some type of representation there, some type of counsel, an attorney or somebody to look over that thing or whatever. And at the end of the day, he signed it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not even sure if Megan Thee Stallion got out of her thing with 1501.
Yeah, that's.
I'm not even sure if she got out of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to get out of it You know what I mean? And it ain't like he trying to get out the contract and go somewhere else. He trying to get his masters back from something that he didn't already sign. So that Megan Thee Stallion thing, like that's two different things. She was trying to get out of that to go, you know, independent or go to another label or whatever. But you know what I mean? Like what he did is already over and done with. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be hard for him to do it. You know, I hope he does get it. And I hope everybody else that signed with it, that signed that same contract, get it. You know what I mean? I hope they get their masters, but I think it's going to be extremely difficult, and it's going to take a lot of movement and a lot of, you know, different moving parts and a lot of very influential people to try to get other people to move in order to, you know, things to work out on their behalf.
Facts.
What's your position on OG?
I say, I'm with you, man. It's a whole lot. They're gonna have to show. His council gonna have to show a whole lot of what's that word? Signing of a false pretenses. It, like, you know what I'm saying? False
Something
intent.
misleading or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It has to be that's like very set in stone with that. And then again, if he did have legal representation, look at it, and they're the ones like, oh yeah, X, Y, Z, this why it's good, and he signed it, and that ain't the case, and they could prove that he said, I want to keep my masters, rightfully known, he gave them people his masters, unless they willingly did it. He got to go after them, and it's a whole lot harder to go after the firm too that overlooked this shit than it is to them. So it's like you said, man, it's gonna be a tough. I hope him luck. I wish him luck. However, I will say this: when you out there making statements behind it, there, Mr. West, for the love of God, man.
You can't be pissing on social media, Ant.
Huh?
Hey,
you can't be
he works the trap with social media, bro. Like, yo, put that motherfucker phone down.
Y'all think he'll get another Grammy?
No. This motherfucker's done, man.
You know what? They gonna give him a Nobel Peace Prize at the end of the day. Mark my words. We're gonna be 60-something years old, and they'll be like, hey, Kanye West gonna get a Nobel Peace Prize. Watch what I say.
Homies, listen. I
signed him up for the Navy Cross. Fuck it.
I don't know if y'all want to end this right here, but before whatever anybody else got to say, I just want to say this right now. If somebody offers us the bag, if just so happens somebody offers us the bag for what we doing, what are we gonna do? I don't think we thought that far ahead, bro.
we ain't thought that far ahead. I was just about to say we gotta talk about that shit offline.
Yeah.
Offline. That's offline discussion, right?
That's offline discussion right there. We gotta get some things straight and understood. You know what I mean? Yeah. We gotta get to the nitty gritty on that, man.
Okay, that's a discussion.
Depends on how that new 2021 Tundra look like. I might hop on that motherfucker. But yeah, man. But hey, good topic, man. They're a good topic. Came out way better than I thought it would.
And as my boy Tyler Craig say, and the moral of the story is, read the fine print.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.